Free will versus determinism. Are our choices truly our own? Picture this. You wake up in the morning, stand at a crossroads in life. You feel the weight of the decision in your hand. Whatever you choose, you believe. You decided it. You are free. Or are you? What if every thought you had before that moment, every impulse, every experience, every molecule in your brain was already pointing you down one path? What if your decision wasn't yours at all, but simply the inevitable effect of countless prior causes? This is the age-old clash. Free will versus determinism. Do we truly make choices, or is everything, our decisions, our desires, our very selves, predetermined by forces beyond our control? In this video, we'll examine both sides of the debate, what it means to say we are free, what determinism demands, and whether we can reconcile the two. We'll ask, if our choices feel ours, does that make them free? And if they're not, what becomes of moral responsibility, meaning, and living our lives? Hold on, because by the end, you may never see choice the same way again. Defining free will and determinism. Before we dive in, we need clear definitions. What do philosophers mean by free will, and what exactly is determinism? Free will typically refers to the capacity of agents to choose between alternatives, to act in a way that is genuinely up to them, and not wholly dictated by past events, genetic fate, or external forces. On the other hand, determinism is the thesis that every event, every decision, every thought, every neuron firing is the necessary result of prior causes combined with the laws of nature. In other words, given the past and the laws, only one future is possible. The question then becomes, if determinism is true, can free will exist? And conversely, if we have free will, does determinism fail? The answers give rise to three major positions. Hard determinism, free will is impossible; libertarianism, free will exists and determinism is false; and compatibilism, free will and determinism can both be true. Let's explore each. Hard determinism, no free will. First up, hard determinism. This view says, if determinism is true, then all our choices were set in motion long before we knew them. In fact, the universe's initial conditions, plus the laws of nature, determined everything, including your decision to click this video. One powerful argument is the consequence argument, articulated by philosophers like Peter Van Inwagen. If determinism is true, the past and laws of nature determine every future event. You have no control over the past or the laws. Therefore, you have no control over the future, including your decisions. Hence, if determinism is true, you aren't free in the meaningful sense. If this is true, then moral responsibility, praise, blame, even personal achievement are thrown into question. If you couldn't have done otherwise, what does it mean to choose? What does it mean to deserve credit or punishment? The hard determinist must either deny free will or redefine responsibility. Some embrace this by arguing that feelings of freedom are illusory. Others retreat to compatibilism, which we'll examine next. Libertarianism, genuine free will. At the opposite end, libertarianism. Libertarians argue that humans do have genuine free will, and that determinism must be false in some domain. We are agents capable of undetermined choices. Our will isn't just the endpoint of causal chains, it introduces new branches. Often, libertarians appeal to the phenomenology of decision. When you deliberate between options, it feels like you could choose either way. That feeling, they say, is more than illusion. It reflects a reality of choice. Some also appeal to indeterminism in physics, or to alternative metaphysical frameworks that allow choices not fully determined by the past. But critics reply, if choices are undetermined, random, how can they be ours? How can you claim to be the author of a random event? That challenge is one of the major criticisms of libertarianism. Compatibilism, free will in a determined world. Between these two extremes lies compatibilism, the view that free will and determinism can coexist. Compatibilists argue that what matters for free will is not the absence of causation, but the absence of coercion, compulsion, or manipulation. If you act according to your desires, reflectively endorse them, and are not externally forced, you are free, even if those desires have causal histories. For example, if you choose chocolate ice cream over vanilla because you prefer chocolate, and there's no external rule forcing you, many compatibilists say this is a free choice, even if your preference is influenced by childhood experiences or genetic factors. Compatibilism preserves moral responsibility, personal agency, and meaning in action, while acknowledging a deterministic causal framework. It reframes free will as the capacity to act in line with one's own motives and deliberations, rather than the ability to act outside causal chains entirely. Why the debate matters: responsibility, ethics, and meaning. This debate isn't abstract. It shapes how we see justice, morality, and even ourselves. If determinism is true and free will an illusion, then moral responsibility weakens. How can we blame or praise actions no one could have avoided? If libertarian free will is true, are moral choices carry real weight, but that freedom comes with the burden of creating our own values. And if compatibilism holds, maybe we can accept both causation and choice, a world where freedom means acting according to our own reasons, not outside the chain of causes. Ultimately, this isn't just philosophy, it's about meaning. If everything is determined, how do we explain regret, guilt, or pride? We live as if choices matter. And reconciling that feeling with science is exactly the tension this debate explores. Science, neurobiology, and challenges to free will. Modern science adds new twists to this ancient question. Neuroscience shows brain activity milliseconds before we consciously decide, suggesting our minds may follow physical laws before awareness. Genetics and environment also shape much of what we do. But does that erase freedom? Some say yes. Others argue consciousness still plays a guiding role, shaping and vetoing impulses. Even quantum mechanics complicates the picture. It introduces randomness, but randomness isn't control. Science, in short, deepens the mystery. It doesn't destroy free will. It simply forces us to rethink what choice really means in a world ruled by both causes and consciousness. Practical implications. Living with or without free will. Beyond theory, this question defines how we live. A determinist might accept less blame and focus on changing systems, since behavior is a product of causes. A libertarian might stress personal agency, believing we truly shape our path. A compatibilist may find balance, accepting causal limits, yet still seeing themselves as a moral agent. In areas like therapy, law, and education, how we view free will influences how we assign responsibility or nurture growth. Whether we hold people accountable or show compassion depends on where we stand in this debate. Towards a balanced view, maybe the truth lies somewhere in between. Our world may be governed by cause and effect, yet we still experience reflection, intention, and choice. Freedom, then, might not mean escaping causation, but owning it, acting with awareness, aligning decisions with our values, and refining what drives us. We may not control every desire, but we can question and reshape them. Perhaps that's the deepest kind of freedom, not absolute control, but conscious participation in who we become. Next time you face a choice, big or small, pause and ask, did I really choose this, or was it already written? Whether we're authors of our own story or characters in a cosmic script, how we live and act still matters. If this exploration of free will versus determinism made you think differently, like, share, and subscribe for more thought-provoking ideas. And in the comments, tell us, what's one choice that felt truly yours, and what invisible forces might have shaped it?